All right, how long would this honeymoon phase last? To discuss more, let's bring in our next guest. Joining us is the host of We've Got a Country to Save podcast and author Larry Elder. Larry, great to see you. So she's really, I want to get into something that's just been breaking, and then I want to get your reaction, then we'll go back into that. So the task force investigating the July 13th attempted assassination against Trump, they're demanding documents from key agencies. And this is the first official move by the task force. Letters were sent to Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, Acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe, and Attorney General Merrick Garland. What do you think they're hoping to find?
Well, they're trying to figure out what the hell happened. I mean, this is one of the biggest breakdowns we've ever seen in this country. It is an absolute scandal that we still haven't gotten to the bottom of this. How did this guy manage to walk around with a long gun? How did he manage to get on the roof? How did he manage to avoid the fact that people were alerting the authorities? It is a huge, huge disaster. But for the grace of God, Donald Trump might very well have been killed. So there are a lot of things that we still don't know. We need answers to make sure nothing like this, Allison, ever happens again.
Yeah, there's a lot of answers that we need to know, and I'm glad that they're doing this. We just heard before this that soundbite from MSNBC raving about Harris. Everyone's saying there's this honeymoon phase, but it's lasting a lot longer than I thought it would, maybe because she hasn't done any interviews. How long do you expect this to go on for?
It's going to go on until November 5, if they can get away with it. And don't forget, the convention in Chicago is coming up, too. So there'll be a lot of adulation. She'll probably come out there with the bounce. But what's interesting, Allison, is this. The very same people who post-debate told Joe Biden to get out there and do sit-down media interviews have no problem with the fact that Kamala Harris is doing none of that. And this business about the politics of joy, which is what the MSNBC clip would have said, that she's changed the message now. No more is we talking about bloodbath and a threat to our democracy, although Joe Biden said that very same in his sit-down interview on Sunday. It's now the politics of freedom and joy. And they mentioned three things. The freedom to avoid books being banned, translation, the freedom to have age-inappropriate books in middle school and elementary school. The other is reproductive rights, translation, abortion up to and including birth, which is exactly the position in Minnesota based on a bill signed by her running mate. And the third one is freedom from gun violence. Interesting, the convention is in Chicago. Over the 4th of July weekend, Allison, over 100 people shot, 17 killed, in a city that's got probably the most restrictive gun laws of any big city in the country. So what they want to do is to bring back the so-called assault weapons ban, which had no real-world effect, and possibly Kamala Harris wants to have a gun buyback program, which she once said, and apparently might be backing away from it. But we don't know because she's not doing a sit-down interview. And regarding joy, I'd have joy too when I ran for governor, Allison. If nobody ever asked me anything and loved on me the way they love on Kamala Harris, I'd be joyful too.
That would be pretty easy, right? You don't have to answer the questions. Just stick to teleprompters and have those fundraising events. We're kind of short on time, but I do want to get your reaction. You mentioned Joe Biden did an interview. So he did this interview. This is his first interview since exiting the 2024 race, finally admitting that he was forced out of the race by the Democratic Party elites. Take a listen.
The polls we had showed that it was a neck-and-neck race. Would have been down to the wire. But what happened was a number of my Democratic colleagues in the House and Senate thought that I was going to hurt them in the races. And I was concerned if I stayed in the race, that would be the topic. You'd be interviewing me about why did Nancy Pelosi say, why did someone, and I thought it would be a real distraction.
All right. We don't have much time, but just want to get your quick reaction to this.
Well, so much for the lie that they were concerned about Joe Biden's cognitive decline. They thought he was going to lose, and they threw him out of the window. That's exactly what they did, and he's finally admitted it.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi coming out and saying how, she's friends with the Bidens, and they've been lifelong friends, trying to somewhat save herself in the media. Larry Elder, thank you so much. Always great to chat with you.
Thank you.
All right, well, the bipartisan...